Hello again, my first grade friends. All right, in the previous video, we practiced how to write verbs in either the present or the past. And then we wrote sentences in the future using will, and then in the future using going to. And we focused on some of the small tricky points about using the verb to be, am, is, are, and adding that to going and to. So now we're going to work on page 52. These are the directions for how to do page 52. First, please write your name and number at the top of the page. Okay. Then let's read the directions. It says, circle the sentences that tell about the future. Rewrite the other sentences to tell about the future. Use going to in each one. All right, so these directions are telling us first to circle the sentences that tell about the future. So please circle the word circle and circle the word future. Then it says to rewrite the other sentences to tell about the future using going and to. So circle those words so that we know we have to either circle the sentences if they are in the future, or rewrite the other sentences that aren't in the future, but we have to use going to, not will. Okay? All right, so let's do this together. First of all, number one, read it together. I work with Ed. I work with Ed. Is that in the future? Because we have to figure out if it's in the future. No, because if it was in the, when does the working happen? Well, it's right now, right? It's in the present. It's not in the past. That would have ed. It'd be I worked with Ed. If it was in the future, it would either have will or going to, and that's not there. So this is not in the future, so we're not going to circle it. Instead, we're going to rewrite it down below. So the words, the sentences to rewrite are down at 7, 8, 9, and 10. So right away, you know that 4 of these sentences are going to have to be rewritten into the future. All right, so we need to add going and to. Would you say, I going to work with Ed? No, you have to add either is or am. Would you say, I is going to work with Ed? No, you'd say, I am going to work with Ed. I am going to work with Ed. So down at number 7, use the writing lines to neatly write I, not is, I am going to work with, and try to write neatly and carefully enough that you can fit those words all in one line. Okay, with Ed, which is a capital E-D. Period. Now, if you run out of room and you still haven't finished, then you can continue on to the next line. It'll be okay. But try to write as tightly as you can so that you don't have to use up too much of the next line. All right, so that's number 1. Number 2. Let's read it. It says, Ed is going to have many crops. Okay, first you have to figure out, is that in the future? Well, it's got is going to, so that means yes, it is in the future. So we circle it. Okay. All right, number 3. My dad planted beets. Okay, what's the verb, the action? Planted. Planted. Is it in the future? Well, look, planted, what's it end in? ED. That's in the past. So can we circle it? No, we only circle the sentences that tell about the future. So what do we have to do? We have to rewrite it down here. So if you had to go on to the next line with number 7, then just wherever you left off, then keep going. And if you were able to fit all of this sentence here into number 7, then start at the beginning of number 8. So we're going to do number 3 down here on this line. It says so the naming part is my dad. So start my dad. That's the naming part. And what did your dad do? Well, in the past he planted beets, but now we have to make it into the future using going to. Would you say my dad going to planted beets? Yeah, you have to say my dad, is it am going to? My dad is going to. So we'll write is going to. And what's he going to do? Plant beets. Well, here it says planted beets. Would we say my dad is going to planted beets? No, because the ED is just for the past. Now we're going into the future. So in the future, we add is going to, and then we drop the ED for plant. So it's just plant, just like Peter plant. Okay. My dad is going to plant what? What's he going to plant? Beets. All right, now I'm running out of room over here, so I'm going to put beets on the next line. Okay. All right. So number 4, they pulled the weeds. What's the verb? What's the action? Pulled. Is it in the future? Is it using going to or will? No, it's got an ED. That's in the past, so we have to rewrite it. What are you going to write here? You're going to write they. It says we have to use going to, so would you write they going to pulled the weeds? It's going to be they are. So write they are going to what? They are going to pull the weeds? No, you got to drop the ED and turn it into they are going to pull the weeds. So we'll write that whole sentence there. Okay. So now we've gone through the first 4 sentences together, and I've shown you that you need to be really careful about a lot of the details here about whether you say am or is, whether you have an ED at the end of the verb. So go slowly and carefully and follow the same thinking to do number 5 and 6. Figure out if it's in the future. If it is, you're going to circle it. If it's not, you're going to turn it into the future using either is or am and going to. Okay? So, good luck. Thank you for your most excellent effort. I know you are going to do a most excellent job. Cheers.